Jivedaya Krishna Nam Sarva Dharmasha Shadhavan Jana Hai Shadhavan Jana Hai Shadhavan Jana Hai Shadhavan Jana Hai Nadia Gojumi Nityananda Mahajan Nadia Gojumi Nityananda Mahajan Patiya Chenam Hate Jivera Karan Patiya Chenam Hate Jivera Karan Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna, dear devotees, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. All glories to the assembled Vaishnava devotees. Devotees, we thank you for being here. We're going to put the verse on the screen. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayit Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamashloke Bhakti Bhava Itinaristaki. So we're reading from Sri Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 9, text number 15. This is about Lord Brahma's prayer for creative energy. Yasha Vatara Guna Karma Vidambanani Namani Yeshu Vigama Vivasha Grinanti Te Naika Janma Shamalam Sahas Shaivahitwa Samyante Apavritamre Tam Tam Ajam Prapadye Yasha Vatara Guna Karma Vidambandani Namani Yeshu Vigame Vivasha Grinanti Te Naika Janma Shamalam Saha Shaiva Hitwa Shamyante Apavre Tamritam Tamajam Prapadye Yashavatara Guna Karma Vidambanani Namani Yeshu Vigame Vivasha Grinanti Te Naika Janma Shamalam Saha Shaiva Hitwa Shamyanti Apavre Tamre Tam Tam Ajam Prapadye. Synonyms: Yasya Hus, Avatara incarnations, Guna transcendental qualities, Karma activities, Vidambanani all mysterious, Namani transcendental names, Ye those, Asuvigame while quitting this life, Vivashaha automatically, Grinanti invoke, Te they, Anayika many, Janma births, Shamalam accumulated sense, Sahasa immediately, Eva certainly, Hitwa given up, Shamyanti obtain, Apavrita open, Amritam immortality, Tam him, Ajam the unborn, Prapade I take shelter. Translation and purport by Jagat Guru Param Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. So this is Lord Brahma praying to Lord Shri Krishna. Let me take shelter of the lotus feet of him whose incarnations, qualities, and activities are mysterious imitations of worldly affairs. One who invokes his transcendental names even unconsciously at the time he quits this life is certainly washed immediately of the sins of many, many births and attains him without fail. Purport. The activities of the incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are a kind of imitation of the activities going on in the material world. He's just like an actor on a stage. An actor imitates the activities of a king on stage, although actually he is not the king. Similarly, when the Lord incarnates, he imitates parts with which he has nothing to do. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, text 14, it is said that the Lord has nothing to do with the activities in which he is supposedly engaged. Namam karmani limpanti nami karma ple spriha. The Lord is omnipotent. Simply by his will, he can perform anything and everything. When the Lord appeared as Lord Krishna, he played the part of the son of Yashoda and Nanda, and he lifted the Govardhan hill. Although lifting a hill is not his concern, he can lift millions of Govardhan hills by his simple desire. He does not need to lift it with his hand, but he imitates the ordinary living entity by this lifting, and at the same time, he exhibits his supernatural power. Thus, his name is chanted as the lifter of Govardhan Hill, or Sri Govardhan Dari. Therefore, his acts in his incarnations and his partiality to the devotees are all imitations only. Just like the stage makeup of an expert dramatical player. His acts in that capacity, however, are all omnipotent, and the remembrance of such activities of the incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is as powerful as the Lord himself. Ajamil remembered the holy name of the Lord, Narayan, by merely calling the name of his son Narayan. And that gave him a complete opportunity to achieve the highest perfection of life. I'll take the text again. Let me take shelter of the lotus feet of him whose incarnations, qualities, and activities are mysterious imitations of worldly affairs. One who invokes his transcendental names, even unconsciously at the time he quits this life, is certainly washed immediately of the sins of many, many births and attains him, that is, Krishna, God, without fail. Om Ajana Timrandasya, Jana Jana Shalakaya, Chakshu Unmilitam Yena, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam, Stapitam Yena Bhutale, Swayam Rupa Kadlamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale, Srimati Bhakti Tirota Swamin Itinamine. Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Statatmane, Shri Gora Karuna Shakti Bhakti Tirthatinamine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale, Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Itinamine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastatya Deshatarine. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gora Tushe Namaha. Nama Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hite Chaja Katita Krishna Govidana Namo Namaha. Vanchakalpataribhyascha Kripa Sandhubhya Ivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasati Gora Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Hare Krishna. So again, we thank you for being here as always. This is a very beautiful prayer made by the secondary creator of this universe, that is Shri Brahma, Lord Brahma. So Lord Brahma, even though he was born out of the lotus navel of Lord Vishnu, specifically called Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. But when Lord Brahma was offering these prayers, he wasn't offering these prayers to Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. He was offering these prayers to Govinda, Shamsundra. So, in the Brahma Samhita, which by the grace and the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, we do not have first, second, third, fourth chapters. I do not know. Maybe someone knows. I do not know how many chapters is included in the Brahma Samhita. But Lord Chaitanya was able to discover just the chapter 5 of Sri Brahma Samhita. And just that chapter 5 in itself, I would say, is sufficient enough for us conditioned souls to study, relish, and be able to attain Krishna. Because in this chapter of the Sri Brahma Samhita, Sri Brahma prays and describes who the Supreme Personality of Godhead is. I remember some time ago, there was this TV host that used to host religious groups for religious topics.
Yeah.
And I had approached him with a topic for a discussion where we could have different representatives from different religious faiths to discuss the topic. And the topic I suggested to this host was, who is God? And he said to me, he says, Sir Dave, who do you think I am? Who is going to discuss this topic? Who is God? No, we're not going to discuss who is God. We're going to discuss what is God. So many people intuitively know that there is a supreme being. There are many others who strongly believe by religious faiths that there is God. But almost none of them can actually describe to anyone how God looks like. They cannot. But in Krishna consciousness, God is described. Lord Brahma vividly, excellently, and perfectly, accurately describes who the Supreme Personality of Godhead is. He describes his color, his complexion. He describes from the toes, the toenails, the sole of his feet, the markings on the sole of his feet, the markings in the palm of his hand, to his hair and the crown that he wears, his face, his nose, his forehead, his lips, his eyes, the color of his eyes, his eyebrow, everything, even his genital is described. Now, when you begin to speak like this as a Hare Krishna person to any individual, the only conclusion that you're going to receive from whomever you're speaking to is that you've gone crazy. You're mad. Who the hell are you to describe God the way you are describing? But Srila Prabhupada, through a very beautiful challenge, Srila Prabhupada says that we Hare Krishnas, we say that Krishna, this blue boy, sitting here, playing here, is God. If you say he is not God, prove to us who God is. Show us. And oftentimes, if not all the time, they're going to say, no one has seen God before. So if no one has seen God before, including you speaking, you haven't seen God before, then how dare you say that this is not God? You do not know him. So how do you know that this individual is God or not God? So in our scriptures, in the Vedas, the description of God is vividly given. And so when the picture is given in your mind's eye, how God looks like, and you understand from the description given, then when you see any individual with such descriptions, with such characteristics, then you can say, yes, this is God. Just as one may not know what an aeroplane is, but if one describes to you how an aeroplane looks, like, and you see one, then you can tell, yes, this is an aeroplane. If you do not know what a snake is, and a snake is described to you how it looks like, and then when you see one, you're not going to say, this is not snake, this is a worm. Because there is a difference between a worm and a snake, just by the description, the characteristics. So in the scriptures, there is a vivid description of how God looks like. If you do not have it in your scriptures, you shut up and listen. Knowledge cannot be found in only one place. Knowledge abounds. No one individual knows it all. So if you do not know something, you don't have to say, because I do not know, nobody else should know. There was this logical argument Sri Prabhupada made a couple of times also. Some people will say that no one has seen God before. Sri Prabhupada says that is a foolish man's proposition. How dare you say no one has seen God before? Have you gone all over the world and interviewed every single individual on earth, whether you've seen God before? And they said no. No, you've not been able to do that. So the mere fact that you have like maybe 50, 60, 80, 90, 95% of people you would know that do not know God, including yourself, does not mean that no one else knows God. If no one knows God, if no one has ever seen God, if no one knows how God looks like, then why do scriptures of the world say that we were made, humans were made in the image of God? If you do not know the real object, how can you know its image? I am in the image of God. That means that the real object, the real being, the real person, God, should also have 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, 1 mouth, 1 neck. Because these are the features I have. And you say that I am in the image of God. So if I'm in the image of God, that means that I look like God. So God, sometimes some people also say, God cannot come here. How do you say God cannot? That in itself is insulting. What can't God do? God can do anything and everything just by his desire, just by his wish. It happens. So that is the difference between all beings and the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is the Almighty. Everyone else is just a minute part and parcel of this Almighty. And even if we are fortunate to become something special in something, we may be described as mighty, but not almighty. There is a big difference between mighty and almighty. Jesus Christ is described in the Bible as mighty God. There is nowhere Jesus Christ is described as Almighty God. Let me see. So, this Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, from time to time, comes into this material world and he displays transcendental activities, but these transcendental activities just looks like that of ordinary human beings. But he is not an ordinary human being. Well, SANKIRTAN Prabhu, Hare Krishna, thank you so much for being here. And if you wouldn't mind, we may put the verse on the screen so you get yourself conversant with the text. I'm sure you've already read it, but just to refresh your mind. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. All right, so you may take it over from here, Shri Sankirtan Prabhu. Dear devotees, I was speaking because His Grace Sankirtan Prabhu, who is the speaker for today, was not available at the time, and we couldn't keep the devotees waiting. So we started reading and sharing something. So, Prabhuji, thank you so much for being here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, pranams to all of you. Sorry, I just completely forgot about the time. So I didn't realize it's already going on. So excuse me for late coming. And yeah, so you went through the whole thing, yeah? You read?
Yeah. Maybe you may read it, the
Just repeat the
translation.
shloka.
Yeah,
And
we read the sloka, yes.
okay. यावत् पृथक्त्वम् इदमात्मन इन्द्रियार्थमाया बलं भगवतो जन ईश पश्येत तावन्न संसृतिरसौ प्रतिसंक्रमेत व्यर्थापि दुःखनिवहं वहति क्रियार्था. O my Lord, the material miseries are without factual existence for the soul. Yet as long as the conditioned soul sees the body as meant for sense enjoyment, he cannot get out of the entanglement of material miseries, being influenced by your external energy. Is it the right one?
I don't think so.
Yeah, sorry. I just yeah, this is no problem. I am just one. What's the number? This one?
This
It was
is 15. I think
okay.
you are reading 16.
I just mismanaged my hand. Sorry,
It's
but you
okay.
were very patiently listening. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's Srimad Bhagavatam.
Let me take shelter of the lotus feet of him whose incarnations, qualities, and activities are mysterious imitations of worldly affairs. One who invokes his transcendental names even unconsciously at the time he quits this life is certainly washed immediately of the sins of many, many births and attains him without fail. Hare Krishna, Omajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitayena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Okay, so we are here in the third canto. Again, here with you from Africa. Which state are you?
Different devotees from different parts of the world. Some are from Africa, some from Europe, some from America. So it's kind of global.
It's a mixed group.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not only Nigeria or Congo or
No.
it's okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, so here we are supposed or we are advised to take shelter of the Lord, and especially his name is very much stressed. Yeah, we know that the Bhagavatam is deep elaboration on Bhagavad Gita, which is like the introductory, Srila Prabhupada says, introductory knowledge or book for the spiritual life. And Srimad Bhagavatam develops Bhagavad Gita into great depths. When we distribute books in the street, when we show people Bhagavad Gita, they already think, oh, this is such a thick book. I will never read such a thick book. But if we would show them the whole Bhagavatam, then it's just so much reading. They cannot really understand. And devotees around the world, especially, in some places, they are distributing these Bhagavatam sets to people, random people in the street. That's amazing, how they can even relate, to take this many books. They can, they usually don't read that many books in these days in their whole life. So yeah, Bhagavad Gita is the introduction, and Srimad Bhagavatam is the post-graduation or more elaborate study of Bhagavad Gita. And we have now very clear example of this, where we have in Bhagavad Gita explained that Yanyam vapi smaram bhavam tyajat yante kalevaram, that whatever one thinks in the time of death, that will be his future, in the next life. And therefore, it is advised we should remember the Lord during the time of death. And this is exactly mentioned here, that if we will invoke the transcendental names of the Lord, which for us specifically usually means Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, although here Srila Prabhupada in purport mentions Govardhanadhari, for example, which is also a bona fide name of the Lord. So if we chant these names at the time of death, we can go back to Krishna. And as it is explained here, our sins can be removed, nullified, washed away. So we have accumulated many, many sins. This is the reality. We are here in this world and we have accumulated many, many sins in these years and lives and millenniums and ages. So many sins which we accumulated, and it's all there. Of course, some of us are a little more purified, some a little less. But of course, when we practice devotional service, the purification is already going on. It's not that we have to wait for the time of death. We are not Christians in this sense, that you are dirty, sinful, you believe in Jesus, and then at the end of life, you will be purified and you go back home, hopefully, although they have no real clear idea of home, spiritual world. But the concept is, that we live as we live and we believe, and then at the end we will be purified and elevated. But devotional service is, of course, different in the sense that we are practicing devotional service and we are chanting the names of the Lord. And as it is here said, at the time when we will quit this life, the sins will be washed immediately away, but they are also being washed during the life when we practice devotional service. We call this purification of the heart. Yeah, we perform devotional service when we put the chanting as the most important part of our practice, sadhana, to chant the Lord's holy name and listen about his holy name. And we are supposed to be purified. The heart should be gradually cleansed. And then if we chant at the time of death, then specifically the time of death is very, very specifically mentioned all in Bhagavad Gita, here in Srimad Bhagavatam. So it has some importance. There is an importance to this, but also we should understand that we should not plan that, okay, at the end of life, I will chant Hare Krishna, I will think about Krishna, and that will be solved, and now I can enjoy. But it doesn't work like that. Yeah. Therefore, it's also said that we should think about Krishna. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mamanusmara yudhyacha. Krishna says to Arjuna, actually, you should think of me non-stop. Because to think of Krishna and chant his holy name at the time of death, it's not that easy. Because we will be very much disturbed. We can see even, now how we can be disturbed by different situations and we completely forget chanting the holy name. We can have some difficulties and then our sadhana goes down and our chanting goes down and so many things to solve or maybe some pains. So when we are at the time of death, that's a very challenging moment, and most of us are not ready for that yet. So we should seriously prepare. Srila Prabhupada was preaching in a way that he was inspiring us to practice the devotional service very seriously throughout our lives. From the time when we come into the touch with Krishna consciousness till the end of this life, and of course after that, we should try to sincerely please Krishna and do our spiritual duties and activities very sincerely, very intensely, with proper attitude, etc. And in this way, we can gradually become prepared to be able, at the time of death, remember Krishna, chant his holy name. So the rest of the sins can be cleansed away. Yeah. And so, and even if we are not, because it's to achieve this stage where we will be really able to easily remember Krishna at the time of death, it's not that common. But if we spend our life sincerely trying, even if we are not at that on that platform, even if we are not advanced enough, but if we really try to serve Krishna sincerely, not only just taking devotees who are trying to do some service, some chanting, some study, this and that, some preaching, little bit here, little bit there. We are not great acharyas, world traveling preachers, parivrajaka acharyas or paramahansas. We are usually, mostly, we are simple devotees struggling with our minds, struggling with our anarthas, struggling with our ego, struggling with so many things, with our relationships and this and that, with our motivation, with our sincerity is being tested again and again. And sometimes we kind of continue nicely. Sometimes we are a little shaken by that and maybe not so serious for some time. So like that, we are trying, but we should try as much as we can. And then Krishna can help us. He will fill the rest of the spiritual advancement, which we have not been able to do. But this sincerity is the key principle. This is very important. That not only we will be waiting for the end of the life, and then we will some cleverly, like Hiranyakashipu cleverly arranged that he will never die. So Brahma told him, I cannot give you this benediction. It's not in my power. So he was thinking, maybe I will be smarter than Brahma. So I will cheat him. So he was asking the benediction from Brahma, but at the same time, he was thinking, I will cheat him. So this is really a special mentality. So he was trying to cheat him. So I don't want to be killed by any animal, any human, any this and that, and not in the day, not at the night, and not in the air, and not on the earth. So like that, he was asking different benediction, and Brahma was giving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the benedictions, and he was thinking, oh, now I oversmarted Brahma. I am smarter than him, so I cheated him, and now I'm immortal because I cannot die. But he was trying to cheat, but finally he was cheated. He was killed anyway. He was anyway killed. So we should not think that we will be smarter than the Lord. Krishna says this and this and this, but I will be smart. I will arrange my life in such a way that at the end of life, there will be some Maha Mantra chanting. I will remember Krishna at that time, and then I will go back to Godhead, although I lived a life which was not full of devotion to Krishna or full of dedicated service to Krishna. So if we try to cheat, then we will be cheated. That's the easy, how to say, formula. Yeah. So if we will try to cheat in this way, I think we will be smarter than Krishna or spiritual master, and we will arrange in our own way and find out how to go back to Godhead, but not having to be strict and intense devotee in this lifetime, then we will be also cheated. we will die unexpectedly, or something will happen, or maybe we will give up devotional service. There is one, I remember once, Suhotra Swami Maharaj, he was visiting our Prague temple when I was still in Prague. And he was speaking like this, that there are some people in Vrindavan, and they do sinful activities in Vrindavan. And if you do sinful activities, Srila Prabhupada describes in somewhere in his books that when you live in Vrindavan and you do sinful activities, you will get birth as a pig or monkey in Vrindavan. And then you will be liberated. So these people calculated, okay, we will live our sinful life, then we will be born again as a monkey in Vrindavan, and then after that life, we will go back home, back to Godhead. So not so much work, and finally we will make it. But as Zoda Maharaj said, that actually there are so many cases that some people came to catch the monkeys from Vrindavan and brought them somewhere else, to make some tests on them, or get some this genitalia, this part, for some purposes and like that. And finally, those monkeys died outside of Vrindavan. So we can try to, cheat and somewhere or other calculate how to escape hard work, and this then we will be cheated, of course. So we should not be trying to escape this hard work. This world is anyway hard work. Just to survive is a hard work. And the Kali Yuga is, of course, prayana apayusha sabya kala vasmi yuge jana manda sumanda mata manda bhagya hupadrutaha. Kali Yuga is full of lazy people. And especially when it comes to spiritual life, we are extremely lazy. We want everything free, instant, immediately, without much hard work. Hard work is considered like a problem which we need to solve. Yeah. Therefore, we come with so many modern amenities, with different gadgets, this and this, that, and different machines to make the life for us in such a way that there is not so much hard work there. But the hard work is not a problem. The life is designed like that. The hard work is there. We just have to, so the hard work is not a problem. We just need to focus the hard work on Krishna, because we have an energy, we are living entities. Yeah. An energy means that we can do some work. We shouldn't be lazy. It's not good quality to escape from the work. Actually, those who are hardworking are generally people who are being respected. He's a hardworking person. He is very honest and hardworking. He's not lazy. So also in the spiritual life, we should be hardworking. Not hardworking, of course, like fanatics who are just working hard, but with intelligence, of course, with intelligence. But we should use our energy, all of our energy, to try to do nice devotional service for pleasing the Lord. So this, all our energy, and all our energy means hard work. Because when we are supposed to do something at our best and we just invest half energy in it, we will not be really happy with the result. And when we offer this result to Krishna or other superior, then we could feel we are sincere, that we could try a little more, we could do more, and others did more. Therefore, also Srila Prabhupada established his Sankirtan movement, this mission, especially when the book distribution was regarding the book distribution, that there is some contest, that we are trying to beat the other devotees, to distribute more books, and there is some newsletter and this and that, and it inspires you. And I personally I personally have this experience, when I distribute books and I do not compare. I think, okay, today 20 books, that was quite good actually, and like that. But when I hear from other devotee who was just in another town and he did 40, then immediately something, in the heart, comes up and, okay, maybe I could try a little more harder, I could stay there maybe 2 hours longer, or maybe I could really pray more. I could have more better japa. So maybe tomorrow I will try. And this inspires us when we see other devotees succeeding in devotional service more than we. So yeah, but when we do our service, we should do the hard work. Srila Prabhupada was working hard, and he made his devotees working hard. And we know also from the life of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada that he was engaging his disciples very intensely. Actually, he had a very special system, which is not recommended, at least not by Chanakya Pandit, who says that one should immediately clear or extinguish two things, fire and debts. Yeah, these things should be immediately dealt with, so we don't have them, because it's very, very dangerous to be in debt and to have the fire in the house. But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he kept his mat devotees, his temple devotees, regularly in debts, so they will not become lazy. So if he was pushing them to engage in different preaching activities and different festivals they had to organize for the preaching, and for that organization of these festivals, they had to spend a lot of money. And they had to also, usually they didn't collect enough. So they got some loans, they borrowed some money to run the festival. And after festival was done, they were in debt. And that kept them busy. They had to go for a collection, this and that, and they couldn't get lazy. So that was one of the strategies of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, how to keep his disciples, protected from the lazy Kali Yuga mind, that we have a tendency always think how to do less work. But in Krishna consciousness, we should think oppositely, how to manage our life so we can do more work for Krishna. With intelligence, as I said before, we shouldn't work so hard that the next after 2 weeks of working like this, we will be completely paralyzed or burned out and unable to do anything, think of anything, or die on exhaustion. This is, of course, not like that. We should use our intelligence so we can long-term dedicate as much energy as we can. But we should think, how can I do more for Krishna? More in quantity and more in quality. Both aspects has to be there. I want to do more quality of the service, and I also want more quantity of the service. When we distribute books, we of course want to do it in better quality, to have better consciousness, to really nicely preach to people, to inspire them to read the books and like that. But also we don't want only quality, so we in good quality distribute one book in a day, but we want also quantity. We want to distribute as many books as possible. And actually, if the quality is very good, the quantity will be also there. And to get the quality, we also need the quantity. So we need to regularly do the thing. For example, the book distribution. If we do it regularly we go out, we try to distribute books, then we will be better and better in this, and our mind will also be adjusted, and we will be trying to have better sadhana, so the quality will go up. Sometimes devotees come with another idea that maybe it is better to chant one good round than 16 rounds, when we do not concentrate, do not listen, like that. So better to chant 1 round, full concentration, and then 16 rounds without any concentration. So this is now a nice theory, but actually it's not that nice. One thing is, of course, we are bound by the vow and desire of Srila Prabhupada. We vowed at the initiation, those who are initiated, and of course, the Srila Prabhupada desired us to chant at least 16 rounds of the holy name, at least, every day, without offenses. And with attention. And that's one thing. But the another thing is the perfection comes with practice. So we need to chant a lot of rounds of the holy name to make the chanting really good quality. It's not that we will chant one mantra one day or just Hare Krishna with good quality and nothing else. The quality will not be there. We need to practice. Like when we practice some martial art, and we want to do some good strike or kick, we need to train it to the perfection. And how to train it is not that we do one a day perfectly, but that we do many again, and we just try to concentrate and do it better. And then when we kick somebody, you will be dead. First kick, finished. But when we don't train like this, we can think I'm doing very nice kicks, but we will be finished after this because we will not be able to use it. So the same way, when we do our activities for Krishna, we need good quantity of service and good quality of service. And we always think, and from our insight, from the chitta, from the heart, always comes some inspiration. Oh, this I would like to do for Krishna, and this would be nice service for Krishna. So every healthy devotee who is practicing a healthy devotional service and his approach is healthy, he has so many ideas which he wants to do for Krishna. So many. He cannot fit it in one life. Cannot fit it. Just we have so many plans which we would like to do for Krishna. Like regarding the mission and service, and regarding our personal spiritual development, the personal sadhana. We have so many things we want to do, so many books we want to read, and again, and learn shlokas, and learn to preach, and do so many services, and increase the quality of our chanting, and concentrate on it, and chant more rounds, and and spread the knowledge, and do the service for the temple, and maybe build a temple, or educate children, or so many things, to preach to the atheists and all others, new age and this and that. So many plans we can have, and we should have these plans. But of course, we also have to be realistic, practical, and pragmatic, and just choose those which we can do and try to do them for Krishna. And of course, there will be push from inside of us that we want to do more. But of course, we cannot do everything. But that is a healthy state. If you are bored in devotional service, that's something unhealthy there. That means that something else is more interesting for us than devotional service to the Lord. So let us do this hard work for Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada did really hard work for us. He was struggling like anything. He was not sleeping practically. He was translating, managing, taking care of disciples, cooking for them in the beginning, so many activities. And he had so much more plans to do. At the end of his pastimes in this world, he mentioned that I have no lamentation. And then he said, but actually I have one lamentation is there, because I did not establish Varnashrama Dharma. Yeah. And that is just so big project, to establish Varnashrama Dharma. We just couldn't really even grasp it, what it really means. It just didn't even start it, and after these years, to develop it in our movement. And Srila Prabhupada had this desire, and he had so many of them. Devotees started in New York, and they were thinking, actually, in the beginning, they've been thinking, that's it. We are here, 26th Avenue, you know, few devotees. Our Swamiji lives here in the flat, and that's like that. That's spiritual life. That's our Vaikuntha. We are serving here, and yeah, and and that's it. And then some of the devotees went to San Francisco and then invited Prabhupada, and Prabhupada said, "I'm going." So they were amazed. What? It's just it's described how they were like thinking, well, we thought this will be like this. But Srila Prabhupada had not only a plan to go to another part of the USA, but he had a plan to spread the mission all over the world. And whenever some devotees came with any talent, Srila Prabhupada always expanded. Okay, now we travel here. Now you go to London. You go to Germany. You go to Africa. You go to Japan. And now we want to preach again in India. So he came with his disciples to India, and we want to build big temples here. And we want the life members. And now we want Gurukulas. And we want Bhaktivedanta Institute because we want to preach to scientists. And we want the Sankirtan world traveling party, and again and new things. And so Prabhupada could expand unlimitedly. And then at the end he said, Varnashrama, 50% is not done. So much work still ahead of us. So there will be always enough service for a sincere devotee, and we should do our hard work in our personal practice. That means hard work for us is to fight, we can say fight with our anarthas. That's a hard work. Yeah, to wake up in the morning, that's hard work. When the usually now it's phone, yeah, before that it was some alarm clock or something like that. Now when the phone is ringing in the morning, we put it on snooze 20 times before we wake up. It's a hard fight to wake up in the morning, then to take shower and chant the holy names with concentrated mind. Again, struggle. It's a fight. It's a hard work. It's a hard work. We really need to be determined to do this. Yeah. Although it's a blissful work when we do it with enthusiasm, but it's a hard work. It's challenging for most of us. These things are challenging. To wake up in the morning around 4 o'clock, very challenging for most of the devotees. Chant concentrated rounds, very challenging for most of us. To eat only prasadam, only food offered to Krishna and cooked by Krishna's devotees. Also challenging in many situations, can be challenging. We should try to find out a way how to manage it. Then reading Srila Prabhupada's books, it's relieving, but it's also hard work to find the time, because there is always new YouTube video to see, or somebody calls me and some new WhatsApp message, Telegram message, Messenger message, Viber message, Skype message, and this and that, so many different platforms on which we need to be all the time, 24 hours a day, always online, always some new feed to feed our concentration, our brains. So it's a challenge, yeah, to live with devotees. It's a challenge also. It's a hard work. Sometimes we need to apologize. Sometimes we need to put ourselves a little aside, because we have some priorities, but we have to work for the community priorities, this and that, some tension in the relationship. So these can be hard things which we are overcoming. And also the temptation of the sense gratification, that's all around us. It's all around us. It's all around us and everywhere within us. The temptation is there on every corner, the sense gratification, our laziness, this and that. So this is a hard work which we need to do, trying to really concentrate on Krishna, sing Krishna's names, chant the holy names of Krishna, and do all these things with sincerity, and just going through this struggle. It's a blissful struggle, but it's a struggle. And yeah, it will bring its fruits gradually during the process, and also at the end of the process. And another hard work, as explained, that our how to say, contribution, our contribution to the mission. That's another hard work which we should think, okay, Harinam Sankirtan, let me do, I'm good in singing, let me do as much as possible Harinam Sankirtan, chanting in the streets. Or I'm intelligent, I can speak nicely, so maybe I can give some classes, I can maybe preach to some students, I can develop, today we can preach on YouTube also, we can use these platforms, of course. And we can approach maybe some kind of people, with our presentation. We can logically explain them how atheism is completely stupid and useless and unfunctional and this and that. Or we are good in construction, so we can help devotees to take care of the temple. So many things which we can do some contribution. We should think, what is my contribution to the mission of Srila Prabhupada? And we should think also like, I would like to feel myself, maybe after 5 years or 10 years, what I would like to achieve, so I feel little, how to say, useful in the Srila Prabhupada's movement. So we should think like this, that, okay, after these years, I did these things. So maybe after 10 years, I would like to do this many things to please Srila Prabhupada. So I can, when I meet Srila Prabhupada, hopefully we will be able to meet him. That's our great desire. Yeah. Because I guess that all of us here didn't meet personally Srila Prabhupada. And so that's our great hope. So we can tell him, Srila Prabhupada will ask, so what did you do? What did you do that life, there? And we will say, okay, Srila Prabhupada, I would like to offer you this. So we would like to have something, to tell him. Yeah, Srila Prabhupada, I was little chanting, a little bit, not much, because, I didn't have time. I was busy with this and that, and so it was difficult. Some chanting, and I came for Sunday feast, usually every second Sunday. And gradually I even stopped even this, because it was all the same, again, the same Sunday feast. I already knew all the preparations, all the gulab jamuns and all kinds of sweets I already tasted. So, and I have heard these lectures so many times. So I stopped that also. Yeah. And so I'm here, yeah, but I chanted a little bit, so we will not feel very comfortable. So we should try to do something, whatever. Of course, we cannot also compare too much with others. Whatever it's in our capacity, but it should be our full capacity. So in this way, we will try, and gradually, in this way, our heart will be purified, and the purification will go on even during the process. We don't need to wait for the time of death, and the death will come for us. Death is waiting for us, and it will come, and then we will be hopefully able to chant the name of the Lord consciously or unconsciously and quit our body, and hopefully we will be able to reach the eternal service to the Lord. Eternal service to the Lord. In this temporary world, we want to reach temporary, eternal abode of the Lord gradually. Yeah. Okay. Few things like that. Few words. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. It's great, Sankirtan Prabhu, for sharing this depth of wisdom and knowledge with us. A lot of important things to take from what you shared, especially trying to do something for the movement. There is a popular American president who said, do not ask what your government can do for you. Ask what you can do for your government. So what we can do for ESCOM as an organization is also very important. Yeah, devotees, if anyone may have questions, comments, reflections, realizations you may want to ask or share, please indicate. by using the hand emoji or your physical hand, and you'll be asked to unmute to ask a question or share your reflections. Hare Krishna. Sri Sankirtan Prabhu, I have one quick question, and it may not be related, but I believe it's related. That is, in your view, in your understanding from the scriptures, which is fairer, wage or salary?
Sorry, I didn't get it. Which is?
Which is more fair, to work and be paid based on wages, or to work and be paid based on salary? Which is more fair?
To be paid by salary, that means that many hours and you are paid for that?
Yeah, salary is like
Yeah,
every 2 weeks or every month, there is a specific money you get.
Yes. And the second one, second option?
And the second one is the number of hours you work, you get paid.
I see.
And I'm asking which is fairer, which is more fair?
I never read this, I mean, specifically in the scriptures. It's more related with the Varnashrama system of life, how they were, because the concept of Varnashrama is even not that you are working for any kind of money. You actually work because you do this duty for the society to function properly. So, for example, you are doing carpentry because the villagers will need some furniture and windows, doors, you know, these things. So you do it as your duty. And if you have money, a lot of money or not so much money, it's not a question. The main question is dharma. It's my dharma. This is my varna. This is my duty for the society as general, in ideal sense, in Daiva Varna Shrama Dharma, serves Krishna. So this is my part of the cooperation, and I do my dharma. I offer the results to Krishna. In this way, the society can function. Therefore, in the Vedic culture, we can see so many times that the king was checking if everybody is doing their duties. There was not a concept that I have enough money, I don't have to work till the end of my life. Yeah, there was not such a concept. You should do your duties even if you have so much money. You have to do your duties of your specific varna. If you are a cobbler, you do your thing. If you are a carpenter, you do your thing. If you are a Vaishya, you protect cows. If you are a Kshatriya, then of course, yeah. And you should do these things till the certain age, and in this way to contribute to the functional society. And we all cooperate on pleasing Krishna. So this is one thing which came to my mind. There's a complete different setup of mind, which we don't have nowadays at all. We think I want to earn money, and if I have enough money, I don't go to work. Of course, we are living in the demoniac situation, of course, so it's broader discussion. And regarding salary and being paid on our basis, it of course depends also on the work which we do. I can't really comment exactly too much. I don't want to speculate too much. So if you have a job, I don't know, depends, you know, what's the other specifics of the situation, and if you do your work sincerely, then it's honest work. Both can have some use. This is what kind of case I say. It's a general thing, and I don't think I can say much more about this.
Well, thank you. The reason I asked this question is to help lead me to, I think it's a very important concern in the scriptures. You quoted Yam Yam Vapi Smaranam, right? That is Lord Krishna himself speaking like that. He also says, Antakale, at the end of one's life, if one can remember Krishna, he will attain Krishna. In American educational system, in the elementary and secondary schools, the system is that whatever you do, whatever work you do as your classwork, how you attend classes, your performance in classes throughout the entire semester, it is all added up. And at the end of the semester, based on the accumulation of your performance, you pass or you fail. And there is another type of education whereby whatever you did during the entire semester doesn't matter much, except for the last exam that you have to sit. And if Krishna is saying that whoever remembers him at the time of death attains him, I do not think that is fair on the part of Krishna. I'm sorry to say that. But me being a conditioned soul and being a very forgetful individual, I may not be able to remember Krishna at the time of my death. But my concern is if someone, not me, because I don't call on Krishna, I don't think of Krishna, but if someone calls on Krishna, thinks of Krishna almost all his life, and at the time of death is unable to remember Krishna, and Krishna is not going to accept him, Krishna is not going to receive him, I don't think that is fair. Krishna can do anything and everything is Krishna. He can do whatever, but I don't think that is fair. That is why I'm asking, because if it is an accumulation, then it does not matter whether one remembers Krishna at the time of death or not. If someone has been able to serve Krishna, remember Krishna, and at the time of death, there is some sort of condition that may not help him to remember, and as such cannot attain Krishna. It's worrisome for me. That is why I asked that question, Prabhuji. So I don't know if you have something to share in this regard.
Yeah, this is now more, how to say, I can more relate to this, if you frame it like this. Yeah, so therefore, as I also mentioned, if we sincerely try whole life serve Krishna, then even if we are not that much perfected, so we can remember him so nicely, then Krishna will add the rest of our advancement. He will help us. Krishna will fill the gap. That's what Srila Prabhupada said. So that's there. This thing, one point is that when Krishna says these things, it's not to discourage devotees to serve him, because maybe they will not be able to think of him at the time of death, and the whole service will be useless and they will not go back home, back to Godhead. It's said because we should, it's said to stress that even if you are a sinful person and you think of me at the time of death, even at that time, you can go back home, back to Godhead. You can be purified if you think about me. So that's the power of thinking of me. If you, at the time of death, remember me, even if you are not that good person, you go back home, back to Godhead. So that's the main message that Krishna stresses. This is the power of remembering me. This is the power of remembering me at the time of death. This can happen. So this is the power of the chanting of the holy name and remembering myself. So that's one part. The second thing is that, of course, we should not take it for granted. Then if we by some situation come to that stage that we will somehow or other remember Krishna, that will what will happen to us. But we should not calculate. Okay, then I don't serve so much, and then I will think of Krishna at the time of death. Of course, that's wrong. Therefore, we stress also that part. We should very nicely serve during the life. But when we try the whole life and we will not be able to think of Krishna at the time of death, there is a shloka in Varaha Purana, which I do not know by heart. I would have to find it, where Krishna says, if devotee serves me the whole life and he cannot remember me because of some reasons, disturbed, body, mind, health, at the time of death, I will remember him. So that's for the sincere devotee. Krishna will remember him. So it's not like that all our service will be useless. Krishna specifically says, those who think of me, they will go to me. He doesn't say, and if you do all the service, we also know, that Krishna, how is that? Nehabikramanašosti prateva yona vidyate svalpam apyasya dharmastrayate mahato bhayat. That even a small advancement can save us. And the third thing is that the most probable people who will think of Krishna at the time of death are, of course, those who serve him whole life. So, to finish it, or to make it summary, so we are supposed to think of Krishna at the time of death, and for that we need to serve him throughout the lives. So we can think about him at the time of death. And if we really sincerely serve, Krishna will help us to think of him, or he will think of us and he will take us back home, back to Godhead. So, that's the shloka about little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. And this the most dangerous type of fear is to take birth again in this world.
Well, thank you so much, Prabhuji. It's very comforting to hear that Krishna has stated somewhere in the Puranas, like you were quoting Varaha Purana.
Yeah, Varaha Purana.
That Krishna states that if one is his devotee, and at the time of death, the devotee is unable to remember him, he, Krishna, will remember him. That is very comforting, because in the Bible, Jesus Christ said that if our children ask us for bread, we're not going to offer them stone. See, so God is more kind, more merciful than us human beings. So there is a story I read, I sometimes refer to it, that a man was married to a woman for so many years, and then the woman unfortunately developed dementia. And her dementia was so bad that she could no longer recognize her husband. But the husband would always visit his wife. So once he took a taxi to where his wife was being cared for. And the cab driver helped him to go to the place. And he realized that this elderly man is trying everything to come see her, does not even know him, does not recognize him. But he said, she does not recognize me, but I recognize her. So if a human being can have this sense to still care for someone that has lived wonderful life with for so many years, but now in a position cannot. So I was wondering, if Krishna cannot do that, then what sort of Krishna is that? So thank you for quoting this from the Varaha Purana. And
I
all
put
glory
it,
to
I
Krishna.
put the I put it into the messages, yeah, the shloka.
Okay.
Yadi vatadi doshana madbhakto ma nach smared aham smarami madbhaktah nayami parama gatim. If my devotee is unable to remember me at the time of death because of disturbances felt within the body at the time, then I shall remember my devotee and take him back to my supreme abode. So of course,
Hare Krishna.
yeah, at the end of life, we can be in different stages. You know, we can have dementia, we can have Alzheimer, this and that. That does not disqualify a devotee, you know, who served the whole life. It does not nullify his service. Krishna is grateful to every small service anyone does for him. So, yeah, Krishna is the best friend.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Like I said, this is very comforting. And it's also an impetus for us to try our little best to think of Krishna more, serve him more, so that we will have Krishna in our subconscious mind, superconscious mind, all sort of conscious levels. Thank you so much. Anyone else with something to ask or to share, please? Prabhuji, are you speaking from Czech?
Yes, I'm in Czech, in Brno. Yeah, Czech.
Okay, good. I hope to visit Czech sometime because there seem to be very, very amazing devotees from Czech.
Yeah, there are many nice devotees.
We've had quite a number of amazing devotees on this humble platform from Czech, and they are all wonderful. Yes, very, very wonderful.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shri Govinda Prabhu.
Okay, this is our
Yeah.
driver. I remember him. He is every time.
Yes, that's our Garuda.
Every time he is in his, you know, in his truck.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very much for
Yeah.
this wonderful and practical presentation of Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhu, I think, this statement by Krishna that think of me and come to me. It sounds very simple and easy, but I think it's the most difficult aspect of human departure. You know, to think of Krishna, to think of God at that point of departure, I think is the most difficult factor in our lives. And that
Yes.
is why Krishna says, think of me. Because if it is that easy, and if it is that simple, and if Krishna is so merciful, then why is he, and he is the super soul within everyone's heart. And he know when one is, when and when, where and when one is going to leave his body. And he is a friend to us, is a friend to the soul within the body. So I'll be wondering that why is Krishna not remembering, helping the soul to think of him at that point of living, so that everybody will go back home to Godhead, and then Krishna himself will be free for keep sending his messengers to come here and worry themselves and try to reclaim us. So I would like you to comment about this, because we have all kinds of desires within our heart, even though we try to be devotees. But our subconscious mind, our heart is full of so many things. And so, how do we remember Krishna when we still hold up to our desires? Then we cannot remember Krishna. So I would like you to comment about it. I think it's the most difficult part of our human life, especially thinking of the Lord at a point of death.
Okay, I will save some words. It will not be complete because it's unlimited topics. But yeah, one thing is, just side point, that this world, material world, although we want it empty because Krishna wants all devotees there in the spiritual world, this material world, it's actually a part of Krishna's Leela. And in this world, actually, Krishna can show his most merciful aspect, of delivering the fallens, which is not there in the spiritual world. So this world also serves some very intimate parts of Krishna's, how to say, personality or like that. That's one thing. And yeah, it is difficult to think of Krishna. It's the most difficult thing, although it is very simple process. You just think of Krishna, nothing special. You don't need any postures, mantras, yantras, tantras, all these things. You just think of Krishna. It's very difficult because we are, of course, in the world of avidya, and we are used to think about so many other things. So Krishna says in this connection, we can read very well known shlokas in Bhagavad Gita, 12th chapter, shlokas 8, 9, and 10. Mayyeva mana adhatsva may buddhin niveshaya nivasishyasya mayyevam ata urdhvan nasangshayaha. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just think about me and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always without a doubt. So this is what Krishna says to Arjuna and to us. Always think of me. Yeah. And then he says in the next shloka, he continues, Athachitam samadhatum nashaknoshi maisthinam abhyasa yogena tato mamichhaptum dhananjaya. My dear Arjuna, of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, which is our case, it's very difficult for us. And Arjuna even considers it's his case also, although he is actually Krishna's friend, so he is on the level of the text 8, but we are not. So if we are not able to do this, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me or think of me all the time. So Krishna actually, although he gives this process, which is very difficult, he also gives us an option how, or the guidance, how we can gradually achieve this state of mind when we will be always thinking about him. So it's not only about trying to think about him, but to accept the regulative principles. So we have some sadhana which regulates us. Now you have to wake up, now you have to take shower, and now you have to worship the deity, and you worship the deity in this way, and now you chant your rounds, and you do it in such a way, and now you read the scripture, now you offer me the food. In this way, different things which we do, and they will keep us somehow or other, directly or indirectly, engaged in thinking about Krishna, and gradually we will be able to think about him more naturally. And even if this is difficult for us, then just work for me. Just work for me. And gradually you will advance. So this is basically the system which we accept, these three verses. So we try to connect them all together, but the essence is we work for Krishna. This way, the heart is purified, and we will be gradually able to think about him more and more. Then we do, at the same time, we try to do the sadhana bhakti, so we can, around us, everywhere there is Krishna and Krishna activities. And then gradually our thinking about Krishna will become more and more and more stable and deep. And in this way, we can gradually advance. And gradually we will think, it's so difficult to think about anything else than Krishna. It will change. It will change. And as devotees, try not to think about Krishna for a whole day. Try it. I mean, don't try it, but you could try it one day, Don't chant any mantra. Don't think about Krishna. Just forget him. And you will see how difficult it is. You will be always, oh, Krishna. No, I do not want to think about him. Krishna, it will come there. Krishna is there. You already made an advancement. Yeah. It's difficult. Try not to chant even one mantra during the whole day. Try it. You will not be able. You will not be able. Krishna already caught you. And it will get worse. It will get worse. You will be completely
Hare
brain,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna fanatic who will always think about Krishna and not interested in anything, nothing, no TV, no internet, no these girls and food outside and nothing. Just complete crazy man, only Krishna. It will come. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
That's it.
This is craziness. We would love to be. We would love to be this crazy.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you also.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, may I ask you last question though? In the text we discussed, it's very interesting how Lord Brahma himself said it, and Srila Prabhupada also broke it down for ordinary people like my crazy self to kind of understand. If Krishna is imitating how we, the conditioned souls, live our lives, then how come we do not try to imitate him also? We are told not to imitate him. But he's imitating us.
Therefore, we have spiritual master to guide us and tell us what we are supposed to do.
Okay.
Okay, and then he will explain how to do things. We can have different inclinations to imitate or not imitate, to follow or not follow, to this and that. So we can come with so many ideas. Therefore, there is a spiritual master and Shastra which explain us how to actually understand all of this, put it together and apply in our life and do it properly. Just, like that. This is very important principle and easy principle, simple principle, but also, the crucial principle. Otherwise, we can come with so many ideas, We can think, Krishna this and that, and then you learn Sanskrit and you realize that there is no word about dhoti in Srimad Bhagavatam, so Krishna does not wear dhoti, is not confirmed, but you can come with so many ideas. But Srila Prabhupada is our spiritual master. We are disciples of his disciples, but basically he's our founder Acharya. He is our main connection. And he is teaching us how to actually do the devotional service, and he explains how we should understand these things. Otherwise, we will come with so many strange, funny ideas. Our brains are really fertile, fertile soil. So many different creepers can grow there. You cannot even imagine these kind of plants. So better to let the proper gardener take care, of our garden there.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So beautiful. Beautifully explained.
For letting me to be with you here. Thank you. And I wish you all the best in your hard work for Srila Prabhupada's movement, and let us make this movement success, and that Srila Prabhupada is proud of us.
Yes.
A little bit.
Let us all together try to make this already beautiful movement more beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, so, dear devotees, we're going to humbly request you all to kindly unmute. And we all chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to express our appreciation to our revered speaker, His Grace Sankirtan Prabhu, for sharing his love and wisdom with us. We were going to fine him for coming in late, but he's been spared because of his explanation. Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. So devotees, please, you may all unmute and we chant Hare Krishna. Jai. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Pancha kalpa tarenesta kripa sindhubhyo patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. All glories to His Grace Sankirtan Prabhu ki jai. Hare
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.